What up, YouTube? Welcome in Between Two Beards. As you can see, we don't have anything to review. Not a damn thing. Because it's not about reviews today, guys. It's about what has been reviewed and what we say, dude, I want to take this with me into 2018. And the other, what makes me want to go see a doctor because I've got cysts on the bowels of my ass because of it. So, Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas, guys. This is our, we're calling this our Tops and Flops video, where we're going to count down our favorites and our most hated things of the year.
Right. We're going to be emphasizing more what we liked.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Let's get right into it.
We're not going to be doing any kind of close-ups or anything like that today. We're literally just going to tell you guys.
Spending some time with us, guys. What we would most recommend to you guys and why.
Yeah. So I think we should start with, what do you want to start with? Mods? Start with mods. Go ahead. What are your top 3 mods, Dubb?
All right. Well, how we're going to structure this is real simple, guys. We have a personal list, because, you know, we are 2 different people. We don't agree on everything. And then we have a concise...
kind of a collective...
collective list of what we both think, marked all what In-Between Two Beards looks for in a device. And that's how we're going to do it. So my top 3 mods. First, number 3 on the list goes to the Chaos Spectrum. I chose that on my list because it's a great device. It hits every check mark that I want. And the little thing, and this is when the LED thing was just starting in this year.
This one kind of kicked off the whole every mod has to have LEDs in it.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't include a option to cycle the LEDs like we've seen on all the other mods that we really like. But battery life was good. Yeah. It looked cool. Yeah. Had a great feel in the hand. Yep. Beat the pants off the Alien and the Predator. And like I said, it's been reliable ever since. It's a powerful mod, so that's my number 3.
Number 3 for me, guys, was the Captain for my joy. I love this mod. There's no reason I should love this mod. There's nothing overly special about it. But
had one of the best cold opens we ever did.
Yeah, I loved the cold open we did for this. But yeah, the battery life on it is pretty stellar for any use, really. Everyday use with the tank dripping on it. You know, I really like it. Couple little things that I don't love about it. I think it's a little bit underpowered. I have to run it a little hotter than I do some other things. I mean, I could fix that by running it in the hard mode, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is definitely my number 3. It was a little bit pricey.
It was a pricier mod.
But it comes with the batteries, and that was the first, this was the first 2700 battery I ever had experience with. So I thought it was cool, it was different, and I enjoy using it. I mean, you probably wouldn't think so watching our Genie video a couple weeks ago, but the Captain, for my joy, absolutely love it. Ahoy. You know, this was a great mod, so go ahead.
I liked it, I didn't love it, but I got you. Yeah. Number 2 is going to be the drag mod. Now, guys, I will say that this mod, if there was ever an award on our little show for didn't expect it, kicked us right in the nuts, and we're grateful for it.
Came out of nowhere.
This was that mod. We were suggested this mod by a viewer, and I can't thank the guy enough because I got it in the mail not expecting shit. I'm like, oh, this is going to be some cheap-ass box mod. It's going to suck donkey balls. Yep. And it totally was donkey ball free.
Blew our pants off,
I mean, this thing kneeled down, like, how do you like your dick sucked? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Yeah. You know, like so yeah, this thing is simple, it's affordable, and with the new black one with the resin,
looks so cool.
It looks so fun. I'm actually thinking real serious about getting another one.
I wish we had waited, because when we got them, these were the silver ones with the carbon fiber were the only ones available. But now you can get the resins and all that stuff. So yeah,
and I love the way it looks. Only real thing that I didn't like about it, the drag decided to spray its logo feces all over this place. You know, Voopoo. The name still kind of vexes me, but you know, like I said, guys, I like how customizable this is. You know,
past all that stuff because the mod is just great. So,
right. Yeah. Really, like I said, able to customize it, no problems. Like I said, when there's no atomizer, it says "check your shit, bitch," because I put that on there. I love that. It's really cool. So that's going to be my number 2.
Number 2 for me is the Stentorian Basilisk. This was another mod that I wasn't expecting anything out of other than it would look pretty. That was the only thing I was expecting out of this mod, was it might look pretty. But I love the feel in the hand. It's got a nice power. I like the chip that they used in here. It's a nice, powerful chip. Again, battery life is phenomenal with the sub-ohm tank. I mean, I was getting like 12 or more hours out of this thing, which I can't get out of hardly any mod I've ever owned other than like the Minikin stuff. So,
I like the Basculus. I actually really like the Basculus. The only reason it didn't make it onto my list or the concise or the collective list. Sorry,
the price. It's expensive.
The price. It is a little pricey. It's between 100 and 120.
I'm not sure that it's worth 120 bucks. Honestly, I would probably pay somewhere in the 80 to 90 range.
Yeah.
For a mod like this. But price aside, I can't put away my feelings because I love this mod. I love using this mod when I'm at home. 90% of the time, you know, I'll throw different drippers and tanks on here, but 90% of the time when I'm at home, I'm using my Basculus.
Well, see, and that was one of the other issues, too, that I had with it, because I do like to use it when I'm home, but I'm not home a lot. So, unfortunately, one of the big things is I'm afraid if I take it on the road, I'm going to just destroy it, and I don't want to destroy it because I do enjoy it.
We've all seen the drop tests of the Basilisk, and it does not fare well. So, other than that, yeah, this was my number 2. I absolutely love this mod, and yeah, go ahead.
I like it.
What's your number 1, Dubb?
Number 1. On to the number 1, guys. Number one is the same for both of us.
We share this one because this mod is just so unreal, and I don't even own one, so that should tell you a lot that I enjoyed my 2.5 weeks with it so much that it left such a big impression on me just while we were testing it for the video. But I think my Christmas present to myself this year is going to be the green one, and that is the Minikin Reborn.
The Minikin Reborn, guys. This mod checks off every single fucking item that I look for in a mod. The almost pistol grip, like, you know, it's like you're holding a Colt 45, which anybody that's holding a Colt 45 will tell you it's a damn good feeling.
Yeah, it's
freedom isn't free, bitch.
It's a Minikin. I have loved the Minikin since the day I got my first one, God, almost 2 years ago, whenever they came out. And it's just kind of everything the Minikin was, but better in every way.
Right.
I'm still not 100% crazy about or sold on the touchscreen.
When we did the Minikin 2, one of our biggest things was the touchscreen, and it had some finicky operating on it, but it was still pretty good. You know, I still love the Minikin 2. However, this comes out and they fixed the touchscreen. It is way more attentive to your, you know, your fingertips and everything. It's not like you're sitting there like cock, fuck, damn, bitch, shit, bitch, you fucking big mother, god damn it. No, I'm changing my wattage.
Right.
You know.
I still don't love the touchscreen because I just don't see the need for a touchscreen in a mod. But outside of that, this mod is amazing. The battery life is the best I've ever used, hands down.
I have not found a mod that's come within 2 or 3 hours of the battery life of this mod.
With a sub-ohm tank at 50 to 55 watt range, it was easy to get like 14, 15 hours out of this thing, and that just I've never seen that before.
Right. So, now we're talking about
solid use
sub-ohm tanks.
Right.
That you're maybe between like 40 and 50 watts. You'll, like I said, I averaged anywhere between 12 to 15 hours of battery life.
It was unreal. It was
no
unreal.
Even on your RTAs, which usually suck battery life, because he vapes anywhere between 60 to 70 watts.
Yeah, 70, somewhere in the 70 range. Depending on the RTA, obviously, or the RTA, obviously. But with the Kylan, yeah, I was still busting out like 10.5, 12 hours with that, and I've never been able to touch that with anything else.
Osmotis is probably one of the best when it comes to
whatever they're doing with their chip and the battery consumption. Every mod manufacturer needs to figure it out and clone it.
Exactly.
Because it's just the best.
Spectacular. Feels good in the hand. I love the new door, everything. Yep. But this works out great as a segue, guys, because this just happens to be the collaborative mod of the year for In-Between2beards in spot number 3.
I know you guys probably think it's kind of weird that it's in spot number 3, even though it was in both of our number 1, but here's why. The price. It's still like 80 or 90 bucks, depending where you get it, and just it's so amazing, but you can get really close for a lot less money. So that's why it hit both of the collective list at number 3.
We wanted to put this at number 1 because we both like, well, what else is there? But at the same time, we're also, for the blue collar guy out there, where $80 mod just is flat out not in the budget.
That's why I don't own one. It's 80 bucks. I haven't been able to bring myself to drop 80 bucks on it yet. But again, I think it's going to be a Christmas present to myself this year. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah.
But like I said, guys, $80, which if you look at it in the broad spectrum of what you're getting,
it's not bad.
It's not a bad price. I mean, you're getting
a good investment. because honestly, I have an original Minikin and a 1.5. Both of them are pushing 2 years old now, and they still work flawlessly. So you spend $80 on this, and it's going to last you a while.
If you're a normal dude that doesn't say, hey, dude, we should do vape reviews one day, and decide to buy new shit all the time, you could theoretically buy this with a sub-ohm tank or an RDA or an RTA, and that's going to be all you're going to need.
You never have to buy another mod, at least until it breaks. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're easy with your stuff.
And this thing showed no signs of, giving out yet. So number 3 for In Between Two Beards for 2017 is the Minikin Reborn by Osmotis.
Yep. Number 2. I think we both agreed that the drag, again, the drag from Voopoo, this one hit number 2 collectively. It wasn't on my personal list, but I do absolutely love this mod. Again, had absolutely no, I had no expectations for this mod. Someone suggested to us, we ordered them. I was like, yeah, whatever, screw it. Let's just, it's $50. Let's buy one and see how it is. And I love it. I find myself using this a lot.
This is the typical mod that I'm using when I'm dripping at home usually. It's either this or the Basculus anymore,
Right.
But I love it, the instantaneous fire. The reason why you're probably asking yourself, well, if you love it so much, why isn't it number 1? Battery life.
Battery life is okay, but it's not amazing.
It's not amazing. So, yeah,
and
unfortunately, because we preach battery life, we felt that we had to bring a mod on the number 1 slot that represented all the check mark boxes, not just the double check mark next to some.
Right.
So, having said that,
get yourself a drag. Now they've got the cool black ones with the resin doors, and they look even better than the silver ones.
And they're still fairly cheap, under $60.
Yeah, they're still like $55. So I mean, you can't go wrong with the drag. Honestly, you just can't. I've got the Nudge sitting on top of it right now, which is a completely another story we're going to dive into next year. But nonetheless, the drag is a phenomenal mod. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's not the most comfortable mod in the hand, but it's not bad. It's not bad even a little bit.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a lot. See, I felt that this was a little bit more comfortable than. I felt like this was a little bit more comfortable than even the Basculus, because the Basculus had some of the sharper edges on it, where this was a little bit more.
I like the rounded, the resin edges on the. Anyway, it's not about that. This is definitely number 2 for us, and then number 1 on the collective list.
It's gonna probably surprise you guys.
It's going to the Chaos Spectrum.
It has to, guys.
It's a great mod. It's got the cool factor. It's got the battery life. It's one of the most comfortable compact mods to hold, period. I love the big clicky fire button. There's a couple things I would have done different. Put the screen on the correct side for right-handers, or at least offer a right-handed option.
Right.
But regardless, it had its downfalls. I actually did buy one of these. This is Dubb's. I bought a white one. And unfortunately, mine took a crap after about a week. It stopped working, and I had the choice to get another one, and it was just a bad one. Bad ones happen in everything. You're never going to get anything.
Was shit.
Right. So, anyway, I had the option to get another one or get something else, and they didn't have the white one anymore in stock, so I went with something else. But I would still recommend the Sigelei Chaos Spectrum to anyone.
This mod, like I just said, guys, on it's got the battery life, which is anywhere between 10 to 13 hours, give or take.
Somewhere in there, depending on the wattage, yeah.
An average about 11 to 12 is what I usually got on there. I love the screen. Simplistic, gives you all the information you need, and they added a little bit of color to it.
Right.
It wasn't just black and white or black and green.
I wanted the Chaos Z to edge this, because the Chaos Z had better battery life. It just did. I don't know why. It wasn't substantially better, but it was better.
Right.
I just hated that mod.
Yeah,
I hated that mod.
Was just whatever. But yeah, guys, like I said, this is one I still will recommend to people if they're looking for just an all-round good mod.
Yep. And you can pick these up online for like $40, $45.
Yeah.
They're not expensive.
So you got great price, great battery life. It hits fairly well. It's a good mod. Like I said, I was blown away by this mod, and I've been using this thing actually the last week and a half, because I love using it so much. So the Sigelei Chaos Spectrum is the mod of the year for the In Between Two Beards for 2017. Congratulations.
Now, granted, we haven't got to use any of the super high-end mods or anything like that.
No, these
we want, and we're at the end of the year, so I feel we can explain this a little bit now. We've never really gone into it, but we kind of want to represent the more blue-collar vapor. We are just dudes with jobs that like to get on camera and talk about vape stuff. We don't get everything sent to us like a lot of other reviewers do, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we just don't. And we like to show that you can get good quality stuff for not a lot of money. That's kind of the whole idea. You know, we've had people like, hey, check this out and that out and that out and this out, and it's like, I don't have $180 to spend on an RDA.
We're not going to spend $200 on a mech mod.
Yeah, it's not happening. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. We are going to move right along to RTAs because I've got my top 3. He's only used 1 all year, so.
But I really liked it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine is going to be the it's going to be the Serpent SMM. I don't really use RTAs, not because I don't like them, but because being on the road, I don't want to deal with how finicky they are.
Right.
So I prefer to use just straight coiled sub-ohm tanks.
Right.
So, but that was just a solid, compact, easy to figure out, easy to wick, just a good round, all-round RTA in my opinion. So. I've been using it at home, so I'm starting to get a little bit more into the RTA thing, but this is going to be more or less Ryan's thing, so go ahead and run down them real quick, man.
I'm an RTA guy. I prefer them to sub-ohm tanks. They're just better, in my opinion, as long as they're not too finicky. They're all a little bit finicky, but as long as they're not too finicky. Number 3, Serpent SMM is the 3rd on my list. It's a great little single coil banger. They're cheap. You can get these for like $23, $26 online. I love the drip tip. I love the build deck. They're super easy to wick. The flavor's amazing. I could go on and on and on. Number 3 goes to the Serpent SMM. I don't have this re-wicked and ready to vape right now, so that's why I'm not vaping on it. But anyway, number 2 on my list is the Kylan from Vandy Vape. I love this RTA. I have used this almost non-stop since I got it earlier this year. This is one of the more finicky ones I have because no matter how I wick it, it leaks, and every review I've ever watched, everyone's like, this thing never leaks, and I'm sorry, I call bullshit because everybody I've ever talked to online about it says it does, and mine does, but regardless, the vape I get off of it is almost perfect. My biggest gripe with this is A, it leaks, and B, the airflow is a little too wide open. It's either wide open or it's cut off too much. Because it clicks into place, it's kind of hard to get it pinpointed where I love it. But regardless, I love the vape off of the Kylan. And again, I don't have this ready to vape. I should have done that before the video, but it is what it is.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, right. Number 1 is the Wake RTA from Wake Mod Co. We have not reviewed this year. We didn't review the Kylan either, actually, because we didn't really do any RTA. We did the Serpent SMM because Watofo sent it to us and asked us to review it, so we did. I love the Wake. I had some problems with mine when I first got it. The positive pin on the bottom of the deck would not make contact with the positive pin. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The positive pin on the bottom of the base was not making contact with the positive pin on the deck. So I had to fix that, and I had to put it in a vise and force the pin in a little bit. That aside, again, nothing's perfect. The stuff's all mass-produced in China, so it is what it is. The flavor off of this is amazing. I have recently discovered that if you run a single coil in it, the flavor is 100 times better than it is even in dual coil. It's super easy to wick if you use the Grim Green's term, the troll doll technique, where you pull your wicks up and put your barrel down and then tuck your wicks in and then put it together. It's an amazing vape. I love the Wake RTA. That is number 1. We're not doing a collaborative list on this one because, again, I've used RTAs.
Serpent SMM, basically, is what best I can do.
It would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't really used those other ones. But on to sub-ohm tanks, guys. All right, so you know how you are with RTAs. I'm the same way with sub-ohm tanks,
yeah.
okay?
I will use a sub-ohm tank when we're testing one for a video. Outside of that, I don't enjoy sub-ohm tanks.
But there have been some...
There have been some good ones this year.
There have been some good ones this year. So here's what's going on, guys. So for my list on sub-ohm tanks, it's real simple, guys. In 3rd place, I've got to give it to the Big Baby by Smock. Now, I know that this has been around for a while, and unfortunately, I was trying to think, but I'm like, I have to give it a throw because I use this tank every day for months until I got to another tank.
Right.
Number 2 on my list, or you have a number 3, sorry.
Yeah. Number 3 on my list would be the Valerian from UL, and unfortunately I don't have one and he forgot his at home, so we don't have that. But
sorry. We
just did a review a few weeks ago, so you can go check that out. But I really enjoyed the vape off of the Valerian. It was one of the few like higher wattage sub-ohm tanks that I really enjoyed vaping on. The flavor was amazing. The airflow was amazing. It's just a great all-around sub-ohm tank. So yeah, that's my number 3. All right, go on with your number 2 there, Dubb.
My number 2 is going to be the Valerian once again. I forgot it at home. Fuck me, I know I'm an asshole. Really good for a super tank. I find myself actually using it more and more at home, which is nice because I very rarely give super tanks much throw because they use too much juice and they just soak up the battery life on any mod for me to use it on the road. So that's why it's not really getting the number 1 slot. Your number 2.
My number 2 is... it's going to go to this guy, and again, this came out of nowhere. This is the Dually from Vaporgate, and this just came out. They are out now because I got this at my local vape shop. I was in my local vape shop, Top Notch Vapor in Dublin, and the owner, Jamie, was like, "Hey man, have you seen these yet?" I said, "No, never heard of it." He's like, "Buy it, and I promise you're going to love it." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I trust you, man." And I dig the vape off of this. The story behind this is you can either use the TF-V8 Smart coils or you can use the Cleto 120 from Aspire Coils. Now, I have a Cleto 120. I made the mistake of buying that tank. I hate it. I hate everything about it. The flavor's all right, but the coils last a half a day, and I hated that tank. So I can rock the full-size Cloud Beast coils in this, and it's a stellar vape. The airflow is better than this on an actual TF-V8, and I love this tank. It comes with a cool frosted glass acrylic tank section and really nice drip tip, and yeah, this one snuck up on me. I had never even heard of it until about a month ago.
This is going to get a full review, guys, but it's not going to happen until next year, unfortunately.
Right. We haven't gotten around to it
We just had too much stuff come up on our plate to be able to do a review, but awesome. All right, so number 1 for me has to go to the Watofo Flow sub-ohm tank. Where do I start, guys? This is by far the best sub-ohm tank on the market in my personal opinion. It vapes amazing. You can use, and I love how versatile it is. The only real downfall to this is it has a standard old school screw-on, screw-off cap, and that it only holds 4 mils of juice. But you know what? It vapes so good that I don't give 2 flying fucks. I mean, look around. I don't give fucks anywhere, you know?
We're going to go ahead and skip to my number 1 is also the Flow tank, so that was an easy one. Again, I don't have a coil head in this, but it's cheap. You can get these for, again, like 25 bucks. You can use the Baby Beast coils or the Watofo coils. The Watofos are better in my opinion.
However, both work great.
They both work fine. The vape on this, for what it is, a tiny little, I would recommend this to a new vapor all day long, hands down.
One of probably the best stock drip tip on a
sub-ohm tank
that I've had out the gate. So I'm still waiting on Larry to send that to me. He's got a custom one that's supposed to be a carbon copy of this, but made of acrylic, so I'm going to be really excited about that when I get it. But like I said, guys, overall, number 1. And for the collaborative, also number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
Has to be, guys. It's just great.
The collaborative list is pretty much the same as our overall list. This wins number 1, and we just told you why. Number 2 goes to the Valerian, which we don't have right now. And I think number 3 was going to go to the Big Baby. Because, again, for when I do use a sub-ohm tank, I think the Big Baby actually came out last year, like right at the tail end of last year, but I got mine somewhere in like March or April.
I love this tank, guys. It's great.
Until the Flow came around, when it came to sub-ohm tanks, that was the one that I like to use. I like the Flow better, like the airflow on the Flow better, but yeah, you can't go wrong with the Big Baby. So that was an easy collaborative list to come up with.
Yep. So I guess on to the debate.
Yeah.
The RDAs
group. That'll bring us up to our final top list, and that is RDAs, and we differ a lot on this one. So go ahead with your number 3.
Number 3 for me, guys, has to be the Peerless. Okay? The Peerless by Geek Vape is one of those, is it reinventing the wheel? Is it super spectacular? No, it's not. But it is such a great little vape for the cost. 25 bucks for a very nice quality RDA.
You can find these for 20 bucks.
Right.
If you look hard enough. So yeah, that's mine too. Number 3 goes to the Peerless. I've got RDAs that I like better, but when it comes to someone that's like, hey, I want to get into dripping, what would you recommend? All day long, go with the Peerless, because you just won't be sorry.
It's a great way for a guy, for for a new vapor to already, to dripping, to get into it without breaking the bank to see if they like it.
Exactly.
It's super easy to build on. It's super affordable. The only issues we had with it, like I said, the O-rings could be better. I love the perforated
airflow.
Perforated airflow. Yep. It's got a really nice juice, deep juice well. Some people aren't crazy about that. All of them are.
It's not Ultim. It's actually acrylic. It looks like Ultim, right, but it's acrylic.
But I love the way this drip tip is designed. It's just nice. So that's going to be number 3 for both of us then. So number 2 for me. Okay, guys, number 2 for me. This is where we're going to differentiate a little bit, but it's got to be the Twisted Messes 24. Now, I know we didn't do a review on this year. We wanted to, but we just kept getting shit in that we had to review first. This will get a review at the beginning of next year. And again, I promise you.
We know that tank has been out for like a year and a half now.
But,
I'm sorry, RDA. But we've had a couple people ask us to review it. We have some very differing opinions on it, but we'll talk about that in the review. But yeah, there you go.
Whew, just love it. Anyway, on to your number 2, man.
Number 2 is a tough one for me because at first it was like easy, Dead Rabbit. Dead Rabbit's my number 2. I love the Dead Rabbit. I grab for the Dead Rabbit just all the time on the constant. I love the Dead Rabbit. The flavor's amazing. I like building on it. I don't love wicking it, but I love the Dead Rabbit. And then this freaking drop came along. And I think I have to give it a two-way tie between the Dead Rabbit and the drop because the vape quality on them is almost identical. I like things better about the drop. I like things better about the Dead Rabbit, but I love them both. And yeah, I think I'm gonna give a two-way tie to the Dead Rabbit and the drop because they're both just.
You're allowed.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it's my list, so fuck it. I can do what I want, man. But yeah, I'm gonna give a tie to the drop and the Dead Rabbit. Both phenomenal RDAs.
All right, guys. So for the number 1 RDA of the year, for my personal list, his personal list, and the collaborative list for In Between Two Beards, has to go to the man himself, Grim Green Homeboy OC's Recoil Rebel. Now,
the Recoil Rebel.
There is
the Recoil Rebel.
So many reasons for this, guys. Okay. First and foremost, as good as the drop's airflow is, and as good as the Dead Rabbit's airflow is, I love the fact that they didn't even have to include an adjustment cap if they didn't want to, because they knocked the airflow out perfectly.
It's dead perfect. This is, without a doubt, the best airflow, period, ever. Not just this year, not just coming from a reviewer, not for any reason. It's just the best air. Like I said in our review, I don't care if Geek Vape would have put this RDA out. I don't care if John Dickface from South Carolina put this RDA out. Even if Rip Trippers had developed this RDA, I still would love it, and I won't even buy any of his stuff because it's Rip Trippers. But anyway, I love this RDA.
I tried Dickface's RDA. Y'all. Yeah, guys.
It does come with adjustable airflow cap, but honestly, I think that was even a waste in the box. It's great, but the snake bite airflow is perfect.
The adjustable airflow is great if you're looking for clouds.
Yeah.
If you're looking for flavor, the snake bite cap, hands down. Ease of building the deck is second to none, in my opinion.
Super easy.
It's super easy to do it. You have so much room. I love the fact that they included the Ultim.
The Ultim ring is a thing. I don't use it personally, but it's there and it works.
But for some guy like me that overdrips constantly, it works great.
Exactly. It does exactly what they advertise. So yeah.
No more expensive than the regular Recoil or any other high dollar RDA out there. 60 bucks will get you one, and it's good. Works great for squonking that we found out.
Yep.
You know, it's just an all-round, it's just the best RDA of the year, guys. And I'm telling you right now, unless somebody could do something better, it might be the RDA of the year next year too.
It very well could be.
I always come back to this RDA. Of all the RDAs that I use, I find myself reaching for my Recoil Rebel more often.
I love the, and it's almost a double-edged sword. It's almost the best thing and the worst thing, because this has made me stop using my original Recoil, and that sucks because I still love that RDA too. But this one is just, it just nudges it because it's easier to build.
Takes the amp to 11, man.
Yeah, exactly. It turns that freaking amp up to 11, and I love it. So, all right, number 2 on our collaborative list, it's got to go to the Peerless, just because, again, for what you pay for it and for what you're getting, you just cannot go wrong with this RDA, period. It squonks great. He's squonking it right now. It drips great. I've got it on just a normal mod, and yeah, and for the cost, you cannot go wrong with the Peerless, period. So there you go, number 2.
I recommend it to experienced vapors. I recommend it to beginning vapors. I recommend it to everybody.
I would recommend an experienced vapor at least try it. It's like,
yeah,
well, I won't like it because Geek Vape put it out. Well, don't be like that. Just try it. It's a great dripper.
Exactly.
It vapes wonderfully.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Unfortunately, we could not come together for a number 3 in our slot. We both have just different opinions on what we like. So here are the 5-way tie, or I guess you could say honorable mention for 3. The Dead Rabbit has to be there.
The Dead Rabbit has to be there, yep.
The guy tried something new. A lot of people like it.
It worked.
It works.
Yep.
Great flavor, great airflow. Not my preferred deck to build on, but it's still a thing. It's still good. So that definitely goes on the list as an honorable mention. The drop has to be there.
I know the drop just came out. We just did the review last week, but
it is not on our top list.
Great. I love this RDA so much.
Yeah, this was a good one, guys. I am very, I like the drop. I'm not in love with it yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. The deck's not my preferred deck to build on, but like I said, guys, it's an injustice to the vaping community just because of our principles that we didn't at least put this on as an honorable mention.
Right,
the drop is a solid RDA.
It's fantastic. Pick one up. If you guys own the Dead Rabbit and love the Dead Rabbit, I know a lot of guys that own the Dead Rabbit, try the drop because you're going to love it. I mean, you're going to love it. Right. And I think number 3 on the honorable mentions list was, we got to give it to the Goon 1.5. We can't make a top list and not put the Goon 1.5 on there.
See,
I don't love the Goon.
I don't love the Goon.
We're going to get some hate, and I don't care. I don't love the Goon. I don't mind the Goon. I like the Goon, but I don't love the Goon. I don't enjoy building on the Goon. If the tabs were spring-loaded, it would make all the difference in the world.
Right. Like I said, guys, it's worth noting because I do enjoy vaping on it, but it's not my favorite RDA. And the final RDA that we were going to put on the honorable mention list, just for me personally, I still got to give it to the Twisted Messes 24. He has differentiating appearance. Now, keep in mind, when I first got it, I was like, really? This is what everybody's talking about? But you know what? The more I used it, the more I love it.
Yeah.
Just do.
I allowed him to put it on the collaborative list in an honorable mention, but again, we'll get into that in the review.
We'll do that. We'll do a full review on it at the beginning of the new year, guys, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's going to be the honorable mentions and stuff for the RDAs. Honorable mentions for sub-ohm tanks, I think we only had one, and that was the SE1.
The SE1 from UL. It got looked over this year. We did a review. It was our very first video we ever did. I fucked up. And he deleted it. So
I fucked up.
We filmed and I edited and I uploaded that video from my old iPhone, which I don't have anymore. And he somehow accidentally deleted it. There was no way to recover it. It's gone. But the SE1 got looked over completely. No one paid attention to the SE1, but it was phenomenal.
It really was,
a great vape.
It was. And it actually was my #1 tank that I used on the road for months until we took the chance to get the big baby when you purchased the Alien, and then that was pretty much what took over my daily tank. So I got to give an SE1 an honorable mention, and I think that was the only one we really had.
Yeah, and I think honorable mentions for mods, I've got to give it up to the Pro Color from Smock. That's a great little mod.
This is a terrific little mod.
It definitely has its faults. It has its shortcomings. The puff limiter thing, I'm still scratching my head and wondering why that's even there, let alone turned on out of the box. But regardless, if you were a fan of the Alien, and let's face it, mods die, and your Alien dies, I would definitely recommend picking up the
only reason this didn't make it onto our top 3 list for mods, guys, was simply because of battery life.
Battery life wasn't great.
menu, what's the word I'm looking for?
The menu's bulky.
It's a bulky menu, yeah. There's like 15, you go out on a branch and then you realize there's like 15 other branches you gotta walk out onto. The menu's not my favorite, okay? So, and the fact, like I said, the puff counter and everything, that's what turned us off from leaving it on there. But it definitely deserves, and battery life had diminished a little bit from that of the Alien. So we didn't get it on our top list, but it definitely deserves.
It deserves a mention. It definitely deserves a mention. And that, I think, is going to bring us to the turds of the year.
The hate list.
Yeah. These are gonna be the flops, and they're pretty.
We're gonna
simple.
do it real quick, guys, because I'll be honest, I don't think I brought any of them with me. So
I don't even have worst mod of the year. Period. The worst mod that I had my hands on this year was the Primo from Joytech.
The Joytech Primo was bad.
I looked forward to the Primo from the day they announced it to the day I got it in my hand. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get this mod. I can't wait to get this mod. I can't wait to get this mod. And from day one, about 5 minutes after getting it out of the box and putting batteries in it, starting to use it, I started getting this crazy freaking burning glue taste and smell coming off of it, and it just, I gave mine away. It was like, hey, I don't want it anymore. Here you go, take it. That was the worst mod.
The Primo was probably, yeah, that's because we're not doing our list, your list. We're
right,
this is just in between two beards is worse. And the only honorable mention mod that I have is the Genie. That would have been a great mod, but it was just so awfully bad with so many small things. It had to make the list. I feel bad about saying that, but you know what? Build another fucking better mod next time.
Which again is funny because the Captain's on my top 3 of my favorite mods, and the Genie had the same chip in it, but I loved the shape of the Genie, but everything else was just no, 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 and yeah, I hated it. We don't have a dripper. I haven't used a dripper this year that sucks. I can't honestly say that, but we haven't gotten there yet.
We're not there yet, so unfortunately...
We'll talk about that next year.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next year.
Of the drippers that we've gotten around to using a lot and reviewing, I don't have one that was just like, meh, it's gone, just terrible.
Not going to use that again.
For RTAs, really quick, the Watofo Serpent Mini 25.
We're going way back in 2017.
We're going back to like January or February with this one. I bought it and built it and hated it in dual coils, pulled the deck out, put the single coil deck in, really hated it in single coil, and I have not used it since. I used it for 2 days, and that was that. And it's in the drawer of things that never come out of the drawer, so...
Sub-ohm tanks, guys. So we have 2.
Oh, God. The worst sub-ohm tank I've ever used, hands down. Again, I've been vaping for almost 3 years, so I've used a lot of tanks. I've used a lot of bad tanks, but the one that wins #1 of forever, the Unimax 25.
The Unimax 25, guys. That thing was nothing but a dick wrapped in shit. It was awful.
Joytech developed a tank, and we're like, fuck, we don't even want to vape this, so how in God's name are we going to sell it? We'll just package it with the Primo. We're going to package the worst tank ever made.
You got to buy it, assholes.
Right. We're going to force you to buy it if you want the Primo. So that was the only way they got it in anyone's hands. It got raving reviews from a lot of big reviewers.
Which cracks me up because it was an awful tank.
And it pissed me off because I'm like, okay, these guys all liked it.
It was so bad that we felt we had to do our own separate review of it because we didn't want to do the kit.
That is the only kit we've done this year where we did a separate review for the tank because the tank was so bad, the mod was so bad that we didn't want to make a 1-hour video.
You're absolutely right.
So yeah, and then the only other sub-ohm tank, and it's not that it's the worst tank ever. It's just it was the most disappointing tank ever, and that was the Crown 3 by UL.
Guys. This tank, everybody, and there are still people that are raving about the flavor on this tank. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, guys.
I never could get there.
I even went as far. I didn't do a video like I said I was going to, but you know, shit happens. I went out and I retested this tank after we did a review because we got a lot of hate mail saying, oh, well, you guys must not be doing it right, or this, fuck you know, what the fuck ever. So I went back and I redid my testing of it to make sure I didn't fuck up or make sure I didn't get a bad set of coils or something like that. And it came down to the fact that, oh, yeah, no, okay, you get good flavor after 3 days of priming the motherfucker.
And then by that time, the coils...
You get a day. And then it's burnt out, and it's done.
So, not the worst tank I've used, but it was definitely the one with the highest hype that fell the shortest for me.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's gonna conclude the list for this year. I'm sorry if this video is a little choppy. We didn't know exactly how to structure it, so maybe we'll do it better next year.
We might have a little bit better time with it next year.
Once again, I'll reiterate. Remember, we are taking about a month and a half off break. We got a lot of family stuff we got to deal with. You're moving.
I'm moving. So
the studio's actually moving to Dubb's place.
Yep. We'll be doing videos at his house from now on.
So, like I said, we might get one more video out very beginning of next year.
We're gonna have a review of the first week of January just because we need to get the review done for it. But then you probably won't see us again until middle part of February.
Probably.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's what's happening, guys. We are not done yet. We are still going to come back. Remember, we got some crazy stuff we got planned. Maybe not even so much just vape stuff, but just a bunch of crazy stuff that we're going to try to expand on in 2018.
2018 is going to be a cool year. I think we're going to try to get out to more vape events this year.
Yeah.
And just try to do some other things. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for...
Yes.
2017. It's been a cool year.
This has been a wild ride, man.
We started with just the worst videos ever. You know, we tried, but they were bad, and we feel like they've gotten a lot better, and we've gotten so much support and feedback, and
all I know is, guys, we started this with an iPhone with 2 guys who said, hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
fuck it.
yeah.
And now we have almost 1,000 subs. At the time of filming, we might have over 1,000. I don't know yet. We have over 100,000 views on our fucking channel,
That's
guys.
incredible.
I can't even imagine that. I can't even believe it. We've gotten to meet some of the biggest names in the vaping industry. We're actually getting fans that are sending us stuff now, dropping us emails.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's great,
the
guys.
support has been amazing, and we thank you all for that. And
we hope it continues and even gets larger in 2018.
We'll see where it goes. But you know what? Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And until next year, please, vape on.
Vape on.